All right, we're back with part 2 of my wrestling mag collection, and it doesn't even look like we scratched the surface, but here we are with another classic WCW magazine with Sting on the cover, and he had some pretty interesting face paint styles back then when he was multicolored Sting. Got Shawn Michaels in shorts. I don't know what was supposed to be on the cover of this, but like a lot of the wrestling magazines I wanted to show off are ones that had the original covers to them, and unfortunately, I don't remember how that one got in there, but kind of weird. Another classic WCW magazine with Sting on the cover, and this is back when WCW was having their own car at NASCAR. I don't remember that, but well, you know, if the driver won more races, WCW would still be in. No, they wouldn't. And for Resident Vania 77, he mentioned he actually mentioned something about and asked me if I had any WCW NWO magazines. Yes, I have quite a few of them, and this is one of them, and pretty good issue in that one too. Just trying to straighten up my mags in the tub real quick. All right, let's see. All right, we got this one coming up here. Another wrestling Inside Wrestling special. Raw versus SmackDown, the Ultimate WrestleMania. Well, you know, a lot of people said for a long, long time that the champion of Raw and the champion of SmackDown should meet at WrestleMania and unify the belts. Never quite happened. They always save that for like a B pay-per-view or a C pay-per-view, and yeah. And once again, another cover with Diesel, although this time around it was back when Vince was being interviewed and talking about WCW and Hall and Nash leaving and the whole 9 yards. So, and definitely one of the most underrated wrestlers I think that ever was. Multi-time tag team champion, Road Dogg, right there with a big old dog right there. I'm not worried about the address on these things because honestly, these magazines are so old, and a lot of these came from my buddy Tyler, and he doesn't even live at the old address anymore. That may show up on some of these magazines. So there you go. Of course, every time there was an Undertaker issue of WWE magazine or any kind of wrestling magazine, I had to grab it because I am an Undertaker fan. So there you guys go. Oh, Lex Luger. Boy, have you seen him? Have you seen him nowadays? It's incredible how he just does not look the same. But he has found Christianity, and I'm happy for him, so that's cool. And speaking of Lex, here he is again. Oh, man. Yeah, a lot of people say steroids are in that body, and I don't know, it could be a little something more. And of course, this special Brian Pillman issue I've had for a very, very, very long time. I've tried to keep it in the best shape I can. This came out sometime after his passing, back in 1997, and a lot of interesting reads in that. I wouldn't mind getting the Brian Pillman DVD they made a few years ago. It does sound like it could be a real fun watch. Inside Wrestling WWF Warzone. I got this back when I was going to live with my Uncle Tom in 1997, and weird thing was the town I was staying in. Actually, I wasn't, called Alton. It sold all kinds of magazines, but no wrestling magazines. So that was kind of weird. And of course, we have WCW magazine with Cactus Jack, Mick Foley on the cover, and he was another guy that I loved getting. If he was on the cover, I had to get the issue because Mick Foley is one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. And of course, we have RVD on the cover of another WWF magazine. And hey, Rob, how high do you get when you're jumping off the top turnbuckle? That's on the Rob Van Dam One of a Kind DVD they had a few years ago, and he was being interviewed by Jonathan Coachman, asking about 10 questions. Wrestling Fury, I don't know. I have honestly no idea what happened to this magazine. I think this is the only Wrestling Fury I actually have. Of course, with Hulk Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior on the cover, making WrestleMania 6. And then we have Hall of Famer Rikishi, Scotty 2 Hottie, Grandmaster Sexay, known as Too Cool, and Rikishi. And there was actually some controversy around Scotty 2 Hottie when he said that he was quite upset that Rikishi did not acknowledge neither him nor Brian Grandmaster Sexay Christopher in his Hall of Fame speech. So he was kind of hurt by that. Can't blame the guy, though. And once again, we have... Now, this one was actually supposed to be 2 different issues. One of them had, this one, of course, Rock in front, Stone Cold in the back. The other one had, you guessed it, Stone Cold in the front, The Rock in the back. So somehow I wound up with The Rock in the front, Stone Cold in the back. But either way, it's a magazine to me, so... This was one of my favorite factions in the WWF. I actually thought they were really, really cool. They worked really, really well together, and I was a big fan of the Brood. Man, they were just something else, man. I always found it kind of unfortunate that Edge and Christian would win multiple tag team titles, yet Gangrel, nothing. That sucked. Oh, goodness. And once again, Mick Foley on the cover of another wrestling magazine I just had to have, and this is when he won his first WWF championship, and boy, I was elated when I saw that. Yep, here he is again. Saint Mick says goodwill to all mankind. Oh, man. I don't know why they tried to sell sockos at WWF shows. Because, like, all you got to do is just get a sock, mark a face on it, and that's it. And they're trying to sell them for, like, $8. That's WWF for you back then. And then WWE nowadays. Another WWF magazine with the Steiner brothers on the cover back when they came in. And I think that was their first tag title win. They never seemed to know what to do with these guys. I mean, they were great wrestlers, but Scott, I'm not going to say anything about him. He may pop on here sometime and talk smack to me. Wrestling Insider, once again, Hulk Hogan, the Ultimate Warrior on the front, and Bret Hart right there. Is the Ultimate Warrior losing his popularity? I think it was more like his mind. Honestly. Oh, God, this one. Actually, dubbed on WWE.com as one of the worst covers in their magazine's history. So, yeah. Unfortunately, though, there are no more WWF magazines. I'm not 100% sure why, but oh well. I'm going to try and present my... I do have actually the last WWE magazine I bought before, and I'll give a good reason why. And there's, of course, DX when they were first forming, just Shawn Michaels and Triple H, no Chyna, no Ravishing Rick Rude. It's kind of weird. A lot of people forget that Ravishing Rick Rude was one of the original 4 members of DX, and yet... And we got The Rock on the cover of WWF magazine, The People's Magazine. I actually liked WWF magazine years ago because it didn't seem like you were getting the same 6 guys on every issue of every month. So, yeah. And here we have the Hardy Boys. Of course, both of them are in TNA nowadays and not doing too bad. I was actually happy to hear that they won the tag team titles, but Jeff, that's suicidal nut job, I swear to God. And this is back when WWF was going under fire over having multiple groups going. And, of course, it's the Hart Foundation, of course. Brett went on to WCW. Davey Boy went on to WCW. Jim the Anvil Neidhart went on to WCW. Brian Pillman, unfortunately, found dead in the hospital, and we all know what happened to Owen. I'm still a little surprised that they're actually WWE is going to do an Owen Hart DVD, and Owen's wife is not happy about it. So, yeah, if you guys want to share your comments below about what you think about that, let me know. Well, gang, I'm about out of time on this part. Hopefully we're going to get through this in less than 10 parts. So I hope you guys will join me for part 3, and we'll get this bad boy done. Until then, as always, stay strong and rock on.